What's up, Savage? How are you? Hey, Janie. How are you? Can you guys hear me? I hope. Yep. Perfect. Good stuff. What's up, RH? How are you? What's going on, Tom? How are you? Hey, Jesse. Good. Janie, how are you? Craig, how are you? Hey, Joe. Simone. What's going on, Dis? Can you guys hear me? Okay. What's going on, Caden? How are you tonight? What's up, Rockin' Steady? I'm good, Jane. Thanks for asking. Zachariah, how are you? Kimberly Wilson. JetCon. Kendra Blythe. Puma Pete's in the house with us. Nino, you sexy MFer. Nino's starting a live stream early with us. Hey, Rita, Mary, how are you? Jane, happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to Jane. What's up, Neck? Spirit level 333. How are you? Spirit level. I am your bogan from upstate New York. Did I say that right? What's up, Daniel? Troy? R. Vrablik. Brett Pruitt. Welcome to the channel, my friend. Thank you for joining us on this live stream. Janie's happy birthday in it tonight. The channel's godmother. Only 29 years old today, Jane. Guys, if by chance I do not say hi to anybody, thank you, Wendy. Hey, Margie, how are you? Moondog Rex. If by chance I do not say hi to anybody, please don't call me ballless and tell me that I suck, because it's hard. Well, you know, $20 is $20. Spirit level. I might have. I didn't look at your email. I didn't check emails. I've been, like I said in yesterday's upload, I'm going to sit down probably tomorrow and Monday and go through all of my subscriber emails. RH, I am so sorry. I didn't mean to ignore you. Lake Superior, how are you? So, as all of you know, Shackleneck got me the shofar, right? Shackleneck got me the shofar. He also just got me a Aztec death whistle, which I cannot blow in my house because my cat will have a fucking stroke. Literally, the other day I blew it. He jumped up in the air, spun around, hissed at me, and ran like a rocket ship. It was awesome. But I felt bad for him because he was like, then he hid for the rest of the day, the little buddy. Hey, Shari, how are you? Yeah, we're getting some snow. Not a lot. It's more or less rain. We had no snow, as you guys know. from when I've been going up in the woods. But it's 33 right now, light rain and snow, and so it's going to be 59 like in the next couple of days. So I don't think we're gonna. James, how are you? Lindman, how are you, my brother? Hard on the PJJ. No, I Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is awesome. Belly took it. I just think like Sakuraba proved that Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is not indestructible. And thank you once again, Larry. I appreciate it, brother. So really quick, Nicola, how are you? Suji, really quick, Frank Morris. Since you guys usually the first couple of minutes, the people that are really like close to me, Dean Ferguson, how are you? Brian, how are you? Brian Cligg coming in the house. So we had to make a decision. Snowing in Bradford, not too bad though. Jesus. You know, I think I might take I've been looking into taking either Krav Maga, which I can take right there across the street, or Sambo. So anyway, really quick, we had to make a hard decision this week with my dad. He was at a really great hospital, probably one of the best in New York. And Firehorse, how are you? Derek Crowley. And so what's up, Stephen Jacob? So we it was either have him be up here an hour and a half closer to us, so he's 5 minutes away from me and my mom, or my mom and I, or stay down there. And the level of healthcare was about 25% taken away. But he's so bad right now that it's just the way we look at it is if he's going to pass away, we don't want him to be that far because I can't drive an hour and a half after I get a phone call telling me my dad is dead. So Micro Dork, what's going on? Zach, how are you? Make sure I say hi to everybody. Fuji, how are you? Hippie, how are you? Robert Sharp is in the house with us. Jimmy Fields. Yeah, it was a hard decision. It was hard, you know, Derek. Something that I pray my worst enemy never has to make. And I don't have enemies, so I pray that the worst person, the cruelest, evilest person on earth never has to make that decision about their parent. And it sucks because, you know, now it's my turn to just be along for the ride and see what happens. I did whisper to him yesterday, which would have been a couple hours ago. But I said to him, listen, you know, either fight or give up. Pick. But stop just not helping yourself. Because he's really like, I don't know, it's hard to explain. But yeah, so that's where we're at with Big Jim. Puma Pete, I am so sorry for you. 19 is a hard age to lose anyone at. Anastasia. So check this out. A new word that I learned today. Bogan. Bogan means redneck or hillbilly in Australia. So we are all, well, I'm going to speak for myself. I am an upstate New York Bogan, and I love it. Bogan. What's up, Ginger? Hey, Tyler, how are you? Kimberly's in the house with us. Thank you, Frank Morris. Clint, how are you? Which video, Nino? The one that I posted the other day or the one that I posted a week ago? Because I went up there twice within a week. So I honestly didn't feel like anything was up there this time with me. Kakalina, how are you? Awkward, how are you? Spooner Love. That is a very interesting name, and thank you for the love. I appreciate that. Did I miss anybody else? Okay. Bogan. How cool is that? I freaking love that. Put my Jewel on the charger. Get this motherfucker charged. And I guess what we'll do is we'll start. Tyler Marshall's with us tonight. Catherine Kibb. Hey, Kathy Hayes, how are you? Randy Mann is in the house. Radio Shack. So, Jane, this first experience is dedicated to you and your birthday. Giant Slayer and Carla, how are you guys? Janie's birthday, Black Eyed Kids experience. I love you, Janie. I was born and raised in the plains of Texas, specifically in an area where Black Eyed Kid sightings are prevalent. I had heard the stories, tales, legends, whatever you want to call them, since I was a young man, but never truly believed them. The Black Eyed Kids was mainly something I entertained as a joke or something to get a rise out of a couple of people. This changed the summer of 2009. It was a warm night in June. Larry Lindman, thank you, brother. Holy shit. Believe me, I know you didn't ignore me. You called me and we got cross paths and stuff. So, brother, I appreciate you. I really do. Rick, how are you? All right, real quick. I'll get back to this quick. I was born and raised in the plains of Texas, specifically in the area where Black Eyed Kid sightings are prevalent. I had heard stories, tales, legends, whatever you want to call them, since I was a young man, but never truly believed them. The Black Eyed Kids was mainly something I entertained as a joke or something to get a rise out of people. This changed the summer of 2009. It was a warm night in June. I was up late, maybe 2 a.m, as I typically like to stay up late, especially in the summer, since I would stay fairly warm even after the sun went down. I had just run up to the store to grab a big fountain soda, and I was returning to my house through the back door when I was approached by 2 children, a boy and a girl. I was very startled once I realized that they were there, since I wasn't expecting to encounter anyone in my backyard so late at night. The little boy asked, "Could we come in? I need to use your phone. We're lost." This is when I noticed the blackness of their eyes. Both of them had eyes so black, like they looked like pits. This is when my heart sank. I couldn't believe what I was actually seeing, that they were standing there right in front of me. As I mentioned before, I had heard the legends of black-eyed children most of my life, so there was no way I was going to let them in my house. I darted in the back door and locked it as quickly as I could. Once inside, I ran upstairs, flipped all the lights on, trying to see outside. Thankfully, by then, they were gone. I had so much adrenaline pumping. By that point, I had grabbed a weapon and began searching the house, making sure all the doors and windows were locked. It took me hours to get to sleep that night, and it's an encounter that will stay with me for the rest of my life. These entities took the form of something most people view as innocent, weak, mild, and try to trick unsuspecting people to do God knows what to them. I'm just glad my reflexes kicked in and I was able to live to tell the tale. Janie, happy birthday, dearie. That was all for you. First encounter. Lisa, how are you? Enrin. Uran. If I pronounced your name wrong, I'm sorry, Aaron. There we go. Red Cardinal 3, what's up? Juno, how are you? It just took me a little bit. I had like that little nerd. Tennessee Backroads, how are you? Gigi, what's going on? Stormy Light, what's in the house? Oh, there's cheers. Cheers to Chow. Ska, thank you so much for the love. Appreciate it. Oh, thank you, Jacob. I appreciate that. I'm glad that you enjoy it. Hey, Denise, how are you? What is your problem, Denise? What's up, Jim Brunson? Rockin' steady. What we talked about last weekend. No, it's not play nice, Jane. She pulled that last weekend, actually, without any kind of. And I thought it was because I didn't acknowledge her, but I don't know. So I got purposely, because I know you guys like a lot of Black-Eyed Kids, I purposely scanned through and got a bunch for you. I got a Mothman. I got a Mothman experience, and I got a bunch of Dogman experiences. So I guess we'll do another Black-Eyed Kids. I actually do, Tyler. I actually do. I'm sitting on those motherfuckers all the time. I'm going to share your Devil Dog experience this week, Robert. I've got something set up with it. Let me try to find that Mothman experience really quick. I was gonna save it for like the middle of the upload. Guys, don't forget to turn your clocks ahead if you still if you have clocks in your house that don't set themselves or whatever the hell. I don't know. I found out I was. Hey Kim, how are you? First live Saturday because I'm hooked. Drove 1,600 miles. Oh, thank you. I'm glad that you're here with us. I appreciate that. George, what's up, my friend? Cryptid 559. Guys, really quick. I am going to be. I got hooked up with a guy today that actually is an author, and he's got a couple of books out already. So he wants me to help him with his book. In turn, I'm going to ask him to help me with the format for Victor's book. So I should have that book out very quickly here. Fuck, where is this encounter? I got so many of them. So I'm looking forward to that. Black Eyed Kids. Nico, what's going on? How are you? Infinity, how are you? I forgot how to say your first name from last week because that's how I am. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I am. I am slow. But I'll just call you Infinity because infinity is such a cool word. Where the fuck is the Mothman encounter? I bet you after I do one thing, I'll find it. Is it time? Yeah, it's time. $20. It's $20. Now we'll try to find the Mothman encounter. Rogue, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm glad that you're here with us. God damn it. Where is it? This is how many encounters I pulled out for you guys tonight. Just because I wanted to have it set for y'all. Donna Harmon, how are you? Nicola. Yes, it is definitely neighborhood education. If they don't know, now they know. And knowing is half the battle. Oh, I'm going to read them all. But all right, here, guys. If I can't find this Black Eyed Kids one, Vicky, that's an old upload. Victor is no longer with us. He has passed. Rockin' steady. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. You know I appreciate your love. Mothman. Found it. Found it. Here we go, kids. Oh, okay. Nick, what's going on? How are you? I'm glad that you're here with us, my friend. I'm glad that you're here with us. Sandhoff, how are you, girl? Craig, what's up? It was a warm summer evening when I first encountered the legendary Mothman. I'd heard tales of this mysterious creature before, but I never truly believed in its existence until the night that I experienced it. I was out for a late night walk in the woods near my hometown when I heard a strange rustling sound in the brush. My heart raced as I cautiously approached the source of the sound. My flashlight illuminating the dark underbrush, and that's when I saw it. A towering figure with glowing red eyes and large wings unfurled behind it. I froze in terror, unable to move as this creature stared back at me with an eerie intensity. Its wings were like those of a moth, but far larger and more menacing. I could feel its otherworldly gaze pierce through me as if it could see into my very soul. As I stood there, transfixed by the sight before me, I couldn't help but feel a strange sense of awe and fear. This creature seemed to exude a kind of ancient power and wisdom, as if it was the guardian of the night watching over the secrets of the forest. But as quickly as it had appeared, the Mothman spread its wings and took flight, disappearing into the darkness above the treetops. I was left standing there, stunned and bewildered by what I had just witnessed. What I just witnessed. Hang on a second. Derek, have a good night. All right. Sorry, guys. All right, here we go. It was a warm summer evening. I'm just gonna restart this right now. So I apologize for the commercials or the ads. You know I can't control them anymore. Firehorse. It was a warm summer evening when I first encountered the legendary Mothman. I had heard. Okay, guys, if you guys are the moderators, when anybody is crazy, block them or put them in a timeout. Okay. I took care of it, Rock and Steady. All right. It was a warm summer evening when I first encountered the legendary Mothman. I had heard tales of the mysterious creature before, but I never truly believed in its existence until that fateful night. I was out for a late night walk in the woods near my hometown when I heard a strange rustling sound in the brush. My heart raced as I cautiously approached the source of the noise, my flashlight illuminating the dark underbrush, and that's when I saw it, a towering figure with glowing red eyes and large wings unfurled behind it. I froze in terror, unable to move as the creature stared back at me with an eerie intensity. Its wings were like those of a moth, but far larger and more menacing. I could feel this otherworldly gaze piercing through me, as if it was piercing or seeing into my soul. As I stood there, transfixed by the sight before me, I couldn't help but feel a strange sense of awe and fear. The Mothman seemed to exude a kind of ancient power and wisdom, as if it was the guardian of the night watching over the secrets of the forest. But as quickly as it appeared, the Mothman spread its wings and took flight, disappearing into the darkness above the treetops. I was left standing there, stunned and bewildered by what I had just witnessed. It felt like a dream, a surreal encounter with a creature straight out of folklore. I knew that no one would believe me if I told them about my encounter with the Mothman. They would dismiss it as a trick of the light or a figment of my imagination. But deep down, I knew that what I had seen was real, and that the Mothman was more than just a legend. It was a living, breathing entity that defied explanation. In the days that followed, I became obsessed with the Mothman, scouring the internet for any information that I could find on this creature. I read about its appearance throughout history, its alleged connections to paranormal phenomenon, and the countless eyewitness accounts to those who claim to have seen it. All right. After this, $20 is $20 to the cop. And then one night, as I was researching in my dimly lit study, I felt a strange sensation wash over me. It was as if the Mothman was calling out to me, beckoning me to come closer. Without hesitation, I grabbed my flashlight and ventured out into the woods once more, determined to uncover the truth behind this enigmatic being. As I wandered deeper into the forest, following an invisible trail that seemed to lead towards me into the darkness, I could sense that I was getting closer. The air grew heavy with an otherworldly presence and the sound of my footsteps echoing through the trees like a drumbeat. And then I saw it once more, the Mothman standing before me, its red eyes burning with an inner fire. This time, however, I had no fear, only a sense of wonder and reverence for this creature. I approached the Mothman slowly, feeling a strange connection with it that I couldn't quite explain. It seemed to understand me in a way that no one else had, as if it could see the depths of my soul and the secrets that I lay hidden. And then, without warning, this creature spoke, not with words, but in a language of the brain that transcends all barriers. It conveyed a message to me of interconnectedness of all living beings in an eternal cycle of life and death. As I listened to the Mothman's silent words, I felt a profound sense of peace watch over me, as if all of the worries and cares of the world had melted into a presence of majestic creature. And then in a moment, I knew that my encounter with the Mothman was not a mere coincidence, but a profound and life-changing experience that stayed with me forever. And so, as the Mothman spread its wings and soared into the sky that night, I watched in awe and gratitude, knowing that I had been touched by something far greater than myself. And as I made my way back home, a sense of wonder and mystery filled my heart, a reminder that there are still untold wonders in this world that defy explanation and inspire us. So, telekinesis, right on, Nick. So, here's what I got. All right. He's still out there. So, with the Mothman, maybe, yes, it is like a harbinger, but, because of that bridge that had, because that bridge had collapsed, we all think of it as being a harbinger of death and possibly evil. But what if it's not evil? Like, what if it's just, hey, shit's going to happen. And like they said, life is a cycle, life and death, life and death. We're born, we die, we born, we die. Sean Lynch, how are you? Neither World Tap, how are you? Thank you for joining us. Talk about with the Pale Horse. Behold the Pale Horse is one of the books, and the other is Them and Us by Nick Van Drimeny. I've been well, Nicole. I've been well. Andy Davis, what's going on? Bad Pup, how are you? Is it time to let the cop know that prostitution and lot lizards exist and it only costs $20? What's up, Derek Bailey? $20 is $20. GG. Little Orphan, how are you? Summon the old lot lizard. I heard through the cryptozoological hotline that the lot lizard has been known to ride the back of the Mothman occasionally. Just occasionally. Candyland. I watched a good movie this week. Dark Harvest, I think it was. Have you guys seen it? The Dark Harvest? Was that another cop that went by? No, I'm not going to do that. I don't need him coming to my house, Nick. Yeah, The Dark Harvest was real good. Real friggin' good. It had that pumpkin head kind of whatever. Hey, Jeff, if your kid's last name was China, what would you name it? Broken? My name is Chubby. My family's Chubby. What's up, Peiko? He's still out there. My mama's chubby. My dad is chubby. Just want to see what I missed. Hey Liz, how are you? It's snowing right now. We had no snow for like ever. Stephen Knight, how are you, my friend? More importantly, what is on my hat? And we won today in preseason. We kicked Texas's ass 7-1. Won't forget that, rockin' steady. Yeah, it'll be gone though tomorrow. It's supposed to be like 45 for the next couple of days. It was just like a cold snap, probably. Oh, Glens Falls is weird like that. Not seen Dark Harvest tonight. 13 Ghosts is a great movie. I watched the original 60 version. I never saw the original. I heard it was good. I'm glad that you're here with us, Liz. I'm glad that you're here. Oh, of course I've seen The Descent, Bad Pup. I see The Descent every upload or every live stream. I talk about The Descent. Eunice, how are you tonight? I think The Descent was quite possibly a soft disclosure. Yes, I did. Vicky Parker. Yep. Craig, there's a map of where some of the dumbs are. The only national park that wouldn't have a dumb underneath it would be Yellowstone, because of the caldera that sits under there. It would be virtually impossible to put a dumb there. Maybe on the outskirts of it, but not directly under that park itself. So that would probably be the only one, but they're not all under the national parks. I think a lot of creepy pastas use that premise that, they're like, hey, 411, national parks. Let's say that there's dumbs under there. Ardith, how are you? Gravity Cheeseburger made it. Dark Waters, how are you, my friend? Dark Waters gifted 5 of you guys memberships. Thank you, James. I love you, my brother. No, Stormy, it's confirmed. Neither World, thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. The book, Them and Us, wasn't Them and Us. It was a different book. About the Super Soldier book. Send me an email, Neither World, and I won't remember it right now, and but I'll email you back with the name of the book. Okay, my friend. James, thank you for gifting 5 people memberships to the channel. That's awesome. I just got notification about that vertical live too. the other day. No, you're good, Neither World. You're good. No need to say you're sorry. I just didn't want to put you on hold with or make you think that I was going to ignore you. It's actually downstairs. So, no, I have not heard from Zach in a very, very long time, to be honest with you. Oh, Lewis, thank you so much. Wow, thank you. Nubian Emperor, how are you? More than likely, Dean. But I'm not gonna talk about people because she's probably having a bad day. I don't know. Can you get permission to publish what you guys were? I'm already doing the book. I'm already doing the book, Paolo. And I already have everything worked out with him. So yeah, it's already in the works. Thank you, Lewis. I appreciate you being here. Will, how are you? All right, so we got 2 encounters down. One more, my friends. One more. I'm just kidding. My grandmother encountered 3 black-eyed children. They asked her if they could come in. We have a garden with a balcony door, which leads into a living room. They didn't look directly at her. They stared at the floor. One of them asked her if they could use the phone to call their parents. My grandmother told me she had never felt such dread, but thought nothing of it because they were children. She said, geez, and let them in. She told me that they then finally looked at her with eyes that were so black. She never saw something like this ever in her life. She froze and just watched them walk into the hallway and out of sight. Then my grandmother followed a second or two after, and they were gone. They simply vanished. She was genuinely scared and confused when she told me this. My grandmother would never make such things up or ever talk about the paranormal in general, let alone have access to the internet, because she simply doesn't understand how it works. Never used a computer in her life. She's my Turkish grandmother from an old generation. I Googled and froze after reading about the phenomena. It happened 7 years ago. This experience has startled me every time I think about it. My poor grandmother. Can you imagine that? Your Turkish grandmother not knowing anything about black-eyed kids. She opens her door, her heart, because I don't know if you guys, I had friends who grew up in Eastern Europe, and their moms and grandmothers' hearts are like this big. And this poor lady, holy crap. Who's leaving? Joe's leaving or Caden's leaving? Caden's leaving? Why is Caden leaving? Caden, have a good night, my friend. By the way, thank you for that shout out on your video the other day. Caden is an enigma. I fucking love Caden. He is like the enigma of YouTube. Yes, I did get a haircut, New England Dirt Roadie. I did get a haircut, and I miss it. I miss my hair so bad. It'll grow back, though. Caden does rule, Rock and Steady. We were talking about him last week and how much we love him. All these cryptids everywhere must have something to do with the missing 411. Bad Pup, I used to be on that same premise as you are, but no, I don't believe that that the cryptids have anything to do with 411. I think it's something far more nefarious. Samara, Jeff, where can we send you a gift? I want something today. Send me an email, please, and I'll give you my address. Okay. I'm not going to put my address over the screen. But if you send me an email, I will. What's up, Wendy? Thank you. I'm glad you like my hair. Black-eyed kids get me almost. Feral. I hate feral humans. I would rather tango with a black-eyed kid than a feral fucking human. They are just salty rant. Holy crap! How are you, been? Wow. Cordy, thanks for narrating that dog guy camping with his dog. The dog man through his tent. Always. That encounter is nuts, Cody or Corey D. Melissa Loveland, what do you mean fear for my safety? I'm glad that you're here with us, Lewis. I really am. Jason Allen, how are you? I don't know if I said hi to you. I did say almost, Jeff. Jeff, previous uploads just have mobile flamethrower. What is your opinion of the Dogman? A previous upload suggested having a mobile flamethrower is better than any firearm. Maybe it was a joke, George. I don't know. I don't think about. I don't know about a flamethrower. It'd have to be really good. It'd have to be a really good one. Reptilians, yes, possibly, but I think more or less. I really, honestly, the more I've thought about it, and once again, this is just. People go to a lot of trouble to. Oh, Melissa, no, I don't, because if something's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. That's the way I look at it. But no, but once again, so this whole kind of science, and this is my opinion, is a science based on theory. But the more I thought about the 411, especially being that I live pretty much in the area of Tom Mezek's, I really think that I used to want to think that Dogman was involved, or then I went to Crawler, then I went to Bigfoot. But I think really it's more of a nefarious thing. I think quite possibly Reptilian is a good one. Portals. I think portals with some sort of magnetic kind of charge or something. Here's something crazy. So, Rainbow, thank you so much. I love you. Thank you. Without making it public, I do hope. I do, Salty Rant. I do. I do bring a firearm with me. So this is crazy. This mic, even though it doesn't look like a great microphone, it's a Shure mic, Shure. This little mic was $199, and I bring it with me when I go up there. It's 6 months old, and the last time I was up there, when not this past time, but the time that everyone saw that thing jumping from tree to tree, the mic stopped working completely. And I'm like, that's weird. I called Shure and said, hey, I bought this 6 months ago. I don't know what happened to it, but it's not receiving any power. The guy told me to do some troubleshooting with it. and there's nothing wrong with it. There's all the wires are connected. So I think maybe some sort of magnetic something may have happened to it. I don't know. There's some bad stuff that goes on where the 411s happen. Just like I said the other day, I really think, and I'm emphasizing on the word think, because none of this is scientifically backed. So it's not fact yet. But I really think that with Skinwalker Ranch, I think there is a dumb in that location, and that's why there is so much power and energy that goes on in that location. Love the love. How are you? Yeah, I really think that, because it makes sense, because you think about it. How they describe Dulce, or how they describe the bases that are in the Groom Lake or Area 51 regions, these things are huge cities that extend feet, miles down, So there's got to be some sort of power. And if they are using and they are conducting these experiments, like the other day when the super soldier, where the super soldiers had, or not the super soldiers, where the aliens had killed the security guards by using some sort of reverse magnetic whatever, shit went bad, DJ, how are you? Thanks for joining us, my friend. I really appreciate that. Can't say it truthfully exists here anymore. I would have to. Luke, my buddy Luke, who lived in Taylor, Mississippi, had seen one about a year ago. Dwight, how are you? Web surfer guy. Has anyone tried to remote view cryptids? Ohio Hurricane, how are you? Here's the thing. If someone tells me they're remotely viewing a cryptid, I don't buy it. And that's just me. That's honestly just me, because there has been too many frauds out there that say they can remote view and stuff. Like, I would have to really honestly sit down with a person and have them prove to me that they are and can remote view to buy it and believe it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not downing remote viewing at all, but I'm saying ley lines. Yeah, Sandhoff, most definitely. I've done a couple of videos that I talked about ley lines and such. I think ley lines have stuff to do with portals, the same as like watershed regions, like me and James Dark Waters talked about, have things to do with cryptid. Brian Reese, how are you? Savage Lunatic, going to bed? Sweet dreams, my friend. Sweet dreams. Yeah, I don't like portals either, Robert. I don't think anyone likes portals. I don't like what comes out of them and why they take shit in. You know what I mean? Like, just not cool. Just not cool. Samara, I don't think I did, to be honest with you. Do me a favor and email me tonight, and I'll respond to it if I got it, because I usually do respond if there's pictures and a story attached to it saying like, hey, got it, I'll reach out to you. Aaron Olson from Kami, California. Well, hey, right back at you from the Soviet Republic of New York. Cookie Keebler, what's going on? How are you? Scott Baker. Scott Baker's in the house with us. Yeah, bad pup. Bless his soul. Hang on a second. Let me respond to that real quick. Not respond to it. Let me check something really quick. Dean, no. Brown recluse? No, brown recluses are not a joke. I got bit by, what the hell was it? I think it was a brown recluse in my leg. I was putting my pants on. Was it like 2 years ago? Jane remembers. Liz probably remembers too. And it bit me in my leg, and my leg was messed up for a while. I had to go to the hospital. Got any good ones tonight, Jeffrey? Brian, I've done 4 so far. So yeah, I've got good ones. I did 2, 3 black-eyed and 1 Mothman. Got me in the face. Oh, shit. Salty rant. No. Lori JC. Yeah, I myself wonder that as well. What's up with Glimmerman? Are they cloaked cryptids? Aaron, I think they are. Well, see, Russian scientists had done a expedition for Bigfoot. And when Putin found out, he sent the military to get involved. Now, because of the politics in Russia, the military and the government didn't have to help pay for it. They just took the information. And the information they were looking for was the camouflage that Bigfoot uses to cloak and whatever, because they wanted to use it in the military. So it is a cloaking. I don't know. I think it's something that's different than what we're used to dealing with, to be honest with you. New England dirt roadie. I love being sober every day. Actually, I'm coming up on 8 years on April 24th. And it's a new birthday. You know what I mean? Dean, I don't talk about the TV show that's scripted. So no, that whole TV show is scripted, and they've said it's scripted. So there's no truth to it, really. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. And I'm proud of you, New England, as well, because sobriety is a hard thing. And the other day when I said I really believe that cryptids are attracted to people that have addiction issues and that have mental illness, there is actually truth to that, because if you think about the attacks that the government covers up, the majority of those people are addicts like Tony Aarons, Amber Miller, Christopher Whiteley down in Texas. And the government used that to vilify them, to make them as a villain, which is bullshit. Gino, yeah, welcome to the channel. Santo, how are you? Web surfer guy, what's the agenda of the black-eyed children? Are they earthbound or earthbound elementals like fairies? Right there is another thing with speculation. You cannot figure it out. Or you cannot say one way or another because there's no backing. That's what makes this cryptozoology, the science of, so great, because there is no expert. Your opinion is as good as my opinion. Let's say Jane, me and Jane are talking about black-eyed kids, right? And I'm like, Jane, I think they are demonic. And then Jane says, no, Jeff, I think they're alien. Well, I'm not going to fight her on that because both opinions are good, Thanks, Stephen Booth. I appreciate that, my friend. Chicory! I'll tell that story in a little bit here. No, I can't drink no chicory, 46. That shit's piss water. Piss water. Both theories are valid. Andy, what if we are aliens? I have an addiction to alcohol. I'm a disabled vet, and it's no excuse. This guy could help. Jeff, have you? That's more, have you? I don't understand what you mean, Aaron. Moose piss water. To the Bohemian Ranch. Yeah, maybe. The lagging is not on my end. My internet is great right now. I'm addicted to coffee as well. I'm addicted to... Jeremy, how are you? Have you heard of David? Yes, I have. Yep. I laugh sometimes because Aaron Olson asks about this one particular story, and it's one experience. It's a good experience, but it's one experience. And now he's like, kind of playing it like, hey, this is that, getting famous off of one experience, when researchers like Kuhnbo is less known, I got some Black Rifle coffee from a subscriber for Christmas. Is anyone here a Farker? Cookie Keebler. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you, Cookie Keebler. I was diagnosed with a rare blood disorder and back a while ago. I was on disability and I was addicted to pain medication and heroin for 30 years. I started using pain medication probably a year after my encounter. And I got clean when I was 40. So you need to, what helped me honestly was deep diving into this. I deep dived and I didn't look back. What do you mean, Jane? What do you mean what's going on? Thank you, MS. Death Wish is some strong coffee. That'll put hair on your balls even if you don't have balls. Stormy Light, good for you. I'm proud of you. Nothing in Jefferson. Kunbo used to have a show, Brian, a long time ago, but no, he doesn't anymore. Thank you, Mindy. Alan Howell, thanks, brother. Nubian, no, it will be very soon. Postpartum depression. Okay, I'm gonna get into YouTube lagging for some of us. I know. Is Jane okay? Dogman encounter right here. It was August, and my cousins' ages ranged from 10 to 15 years old. I was the youngest, being 10. I was staying with 11, 13, and 14-year-old. We stayed up telling scary stories often, but one night, a few weeks in, we decided to make a campfire out back. My grandmother's house is in a rural suburb. The neighbors are not too far when you're driving down the road to her house, but in the backyard, it's thick forest with man-made paths throughout. Each house is on a hill, so only part of the basement is actually underground. That is important for later, though. So, we are towards the east side of the yard in a smallish patch of open land. You couldn't see the neighboring yards from there. And there was probably 3/4 of a mile to each side of us that belonged to my grandmother. It was maybe 11 at night, and we were playing Truth or Dare after telling scary stories. And my 14-year-old cousin dared me and my 13-year-old cousin to walk through the paths for 10 minutes. I said, yeah, right away, as I really wasn't scared and rather level-headed, but my older cousin was a bit more hesitant. We didn't bring a flashlight because it wasn't pitch dark yet, and we could see enough not to die. We were walking through the paths for about 5 minutes and could barely see the fire through the trees when we decided to turn. In the middle of the path was a large dog-like creature, hunched over with its front paws / hands an inch from the ground. What I remember most was how its eyes were so bright, a bright white. And it was a humanoid dog shape with a human-like head in the dog in a body of a dog, but human hands and feet. It looked right at us, and shaped with a human-like head, but a dog-like body, human hands and feet. It looked right at us, and I knew I was paralyzed in fear as it dashed away the opposite way from us, towards the creek. Eventually, my cousin and I screamed bloody murder, and my other cousins and grandmother ran out to us. I don't remember much here because I was really disoriented, and I couldn't think properly. But I did wake up in bed, so I assumed that I was brought into the house. All of the kids slept in the basement, in a big room with a sliding glass door to the outside. As the room was on the side that wasn't underground, my bed was pressed against a big window, and I could see my cousins playing outside down below. This house is in Michigan, so it gets slightly chilly even at the end of August. And there was a slight breeze, so I put my jacket on and ran outside to join them, skipping breakfast, not wanting to miss out on any of the fun. When I got down, I could tell they weren't playing, but rather running to get my grandmother. Her dogs, both of them, were dead, ripped apart. That night, we went to bed early. I woke up at maybe 2 a.m. because I felt something hit my head. My cousins were all sitting on a double bed opposite of me in the room. There was one bunk bed and 2 double beds. The double beds for me and my cousins. They were being quiet and staring at me. The 13-year-old nubbed his head toward the window. I froze. They all looked afraid. I turned my head slightly to the side and saw a really messed up looking face pressed against the window with gaping eyes looking at us. I screamed so loud and it bolted. My grandmother called the police and I told her what happened. They never found anything. I went home after that and I've never been there during the night again. Moondog Rex. So I was going to talk about this after. There has been accounts of dog-like creatures with human faces. I think in Alabama, if I'm not mistaken, there was a dog-like woman, and she had the body. She had the body of a dog, but she had. I'm going to look it up real quick so I can. Hang on one second. Dog Woman of Alabama. Werewolf Woman of Alabama. I think that was it. How you find it? Yes, here it is. So initially, there's a. If you guys look this up, because that how they described that creature, it had a human face on a dog's body. In Mobile, Alabama, there was a woman sulking around the city that people had seen, and she had the story of the legendary wolf woman of Mobile was published in the Press Register on April 8th, 1971. Half wolf, half woman creature so frightened the citizens of Mobile that people began calling the newspaper to report the sighting. The newspaper reported the phenomenon, complete with drawing of the creature, listening to as many as 50 phone calls. The Press Register received day and night in approximately a week. So it literally had a wolf's body with a human-like face and head. So it's not too far-fetched. And there's been other experiences as well. Moondog Rex. No, what he said was they have a small snout, not as big as a Dogman. Almost human-like, but not as big as a Dogman. Much larger than a Bigfoot snout, which Bigfoots don't have. Aramic, how are you? What's up, No Cap Bussin'? Charlie Marshall, how are you? Thank you for being with us tonight there, girly. Sully, what's going on? Yeah, Brian Reese, I agree with you. 59th, how are you tonight, my friend? Thank you, Aramek. I appreciate that. So, guys, really look that up, and you guys will be amazed that there's actually like a couple of really good articles on the Wolf Lady of Mobile, Alabama. So just type in Wolf Lady of Alabama, 1971 would probably be the best thing to do. Alan Howell, thank you for the love, my friend. Brian Reese, actually, I'm not the person to ask. Robert Sharp, who's in the chat with us, would be the person to ask. Charlie, be a good girl and go to bed for your mom. Sean, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Only by the grace of God. That's right, my friend. That is right. Bonita Wilcox, how are you? I believe I encountered the black-eyed children over a decade ago in rural Appalachia. What's up, Five Rings? She lives next door to me. Ha ha. All right, here we go, guys. I believe I encountered the black-eyed children over a decade ago in rural Appalachia. This always low-key disturbed me, keeping in touch to this day. I never brought it over, okay, never mind. Alt account, but long times here. An old friend hit me up and started reminiscing. Okay, I started reminiscing with an old friend and just remembered this. Believe I encountered black-eyed kids in rural Appalachia. This was always low-key disturbed me. We kept in touch to this day, but we've never brought it up again. We were at a local/state park sort of place between 9 p.m. and 1 a.m. I remember we were parked alongside the wood and some picnic tables. It was pretty desolate. We were technically trespassing, 17-year-old female, 17-year-old male at the time. And what we were doing there, you can leave to your own imagination. As our curfews were approaching and we were finishing up our time together, we experienced a very ominous feeling. He was in the driver's seat preparing to start the car and pull away. The car didn't start. We sort of laughed it off as this wasn't the first time it happened and talked. Suddenly, to the right, the passenger side where I was sitting, we see faint lights coming out of the woods. The ominous feeling intensified, emerging from the woods there were 4 to 5 children, younger than us, appearing to be 7 to 11 years old. I'm not going to claim that they had black eyes and it was dark because it was dark and I don't remember. It was pretty shook. I did not read the book Black-Eyed Kid Lore Phenomenon until years later, which described everything else we experienced. All I can say is they were not normal. They didn't belong. The cabins at the park were not occupied. They weren't even getting rented out this time of the autumn/winter. We were miles from the park's hotel. There were no adults. They were absolutely out of place. What were the lights? I don't know, but the closest thing I can compare them to would be a glow stick, as if when you open the package, those novelty glow sticks that include bracelets, necklaces, and wands and such. But it wasn't like they were having fun or goofing. They just stopped, stood there, stared at us. He tried asking what they were doing here, if they were lost, where their parents were, to no response. The oldest looking male child, a bit heavy set with a gray hoodie on, approached the vehicle, just in the front where the passenger headlight would be. My friend started really freaking out at this point. He locked the doors and was like, oh, hell no, we got to go. Eventually, the car did start. The children didn't move, and the kid stays put in front of the car. My friend eventually yells to the kid, I'm going to run you over. The boy slowly backs away, raises his arms, and points at us as we are leaving. I didn't look back. Sanhoff, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. I'm not sure why. What's the reflection? Do you want? I'll close the window for you, Nicole. I'll raise it when I blow the old shofar in a minute here. Sanhoff, thank you again. I appreciate everybody who has blessed me. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. You guys have no idea. Joe, you're always in my prayers. You know that. Web Surf Guy, thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate that, my friend. Here, since you're new, and I just want to Brian Reese got a shofar too. Good stuff. So I just really want to point a couple things out, okay? The field of cryptozoology is awesome. All right. But you have to remember a few things. I really truly am starting to believe that the government is putting plants into this community, whether it be on Facebook, whether it be on TikTok. Obviously, we know that's got plants in it, or YouTube. I see a lot of people comment to me or email me in regards to a video they watched and ask me to check it out. And the way it's told comes off like it's real, but it's actually a creepy pasta. You have to be leery of these crazy stories. Yes, they're great entertainment, but as being truth, no. When I had my encounter in 1994, I never ever imagined that these creatures were real. I always knew Bigfoot was real because of where I live. But as for Dogman, no. Rockin' Steady, thank you, my brother. But then when I saw what I saw with my friends that night, I was clicked. Even during my using days, I was still always reading and learning. So please, and if anyone ever tells you that they're an expert, laugh at them and say, yeah, maybe at making things up, because nobody is an expert in this. Andy, did you just send it? No, I did not get it. The book, Victor's book, is not out yet. It will be out. I countless times, I say it so many times. Victor is no longer with us. I am going to finish his book for him, and I am going to split the proceeds with his grandkids. Lewis, I did get your email, and I did narrate it, my friend. I narrated a while ago. Yes, sir. Do you guys remember all right, cool. Do you guys remember the experience where in Tennessee, it was a rural town in Tennessee, and I think it was like 2 years ago, 2021. Yeah, 2021. These kids were out back. They were in their woods, um, which actually are pretty deep, and they had found this cave, right? Um, they had gone into the cave because they found a shoe, and they were like, "What the hell is this shoe? What's this? What's this?" And they end up finding a body in there that had been torn apart, pretty mangled, pretty badly. Um, so the next thing you know, the cops come out and they end up finding the ID of this guy. And the lady had made a mention of, the news article said, the reporter said, "Are you going to let your kids play in the woods still, even though they found this body?" And the mom said, "Yeah, yeah, of course I am. Like, it's going to happen again. Ha ha ha." And so I looked into it and I found out that it actually happened years before in that same location. And there was like the same body, not the same person, but same position the body was in, torn apart, this and that, found in a cave. This experience kind of, when I first read it, I was like, ooh, and I just got that Tennessee snap back. Um, MS, thank you so much. I love you, dearie. Rockin' Steady just put the experience in, or just put my email in, Nino, you sexy MFer. It's right above MS. Oh, Joe, thank you, dear. You don't have to do that. I didn't get an email today, Joe. Hey, Sonny, Yawander, and Gypsy, how are you? That's a great name. Trolls? Michael, what do you mean? Trolls as in trolls on YouTube, or trolls like I'm the grumpy old troll who lives under the bridge? Thank you, Nino. I appreciate you. You know I do. Like the Norwegian troll. I'll have to look into that. That's a good idea. Thank you, Michael. I'll look into that. You guys know where I got that, right? I'm the grumpy old troll who lives under the bridge from Dora the Explorer. Dora, Dora, Dora the Explorer. Hora, hora. Spirit level. The mascot is Tigger, Sandhoff. Let me see if I can get him. Buddy! Come on, buddy! Buddy! He'll come. He'll come eventually. There are times that I don't get emails for some reason, Andy. It's weird. Yeah, I didn't get the email. So, guys, I want to share this with you because I think this is really, really cool. I sent it 3 weeks ago. I can resend it. Do me the solid and do that, please. Um, Bad Pup. Gugwee is just a Sasquatch. Gugwee is the Micmac name for Sasquatch. There's no Gugwee Sasquatch. That's the name for Sasquatch per the Micmac culture. Five rings. You know I did, five rings. You know I did. Catch cares away. Worries for another day. Let the music play. Down to Fraggle Rock. Okay. Oh, so really quick, I wanted to share this cool news with you. Daryl, how are you? All right, so cool news. I got this email today. I hope all is well in your area. My name is Jay. I'm an author of Mountain Giants of the Adirondacks. I live in Burlington, Vermont area. I'm currently working on a book regarding Dogman, and I was wondering if you would like to contribute. I could use the extra help, and I will give you full credit for your contribution. Contribute, whatever, along with a free copy once it's published. I hope to hear from you. You know what my response was? Yeah, sounds good, but I get autographed copies of all your books too. Daryl, I know you live in Taylor, my friend. He's like, I'll give you an autographed copy. No, you're giving me all your books autographed. Why? Because I like books. Jeremy, have a good night, my friend. Thank you for coming and joining us tonight. I appreciate you. Anomalo Lupus, I apologize for not saying hi to you, but hi, how are you? Kevin Mooring, Victor is no longer with us. Yeah, Bad Pup, absolutely. You don't want to whistle in the woods. Not being rude or questioning, but how old are you? Because like, I'm just from your comments and stuff you say, are you younger, and are you just like learning all of this, or because this is old news? And I'm not being rude or anything. Please don't take it as being rude. I'm just asking. I've been to the Warrens Museum, Bad Pup. Yup, I've been to the Warrens Museum. Thank you, Joe. I actually did. Lorraine Warren has a Bigfoot encounter. Bart Bullock, whenever the book gets out, I don't know. I don't have a date. Victor is no longer with us, and I don't know when the book is coming out. Probably the last time I'm going to say it tonight. I miss Victor on a daily basis. That's why I share his experiences with us. I actually am trying to use some old information that he shared to do the first chapter. Yes. Andy Davis. So Lorraine Warren had a Bigfoot encounter. What happened was Ed and Lorraine had gotten a email from a person that lived in Connecticut. And my friend Jimmy Petanito, who used to be the cameraman for the Warrens, Krypton Born 1. Sounds good, brother. Sounds good. Be safe, please. Stay safe. So Ed and Lorraine get this call. Jimmy Petanito was with them, who actually wrote the book Phantom Encounters. Great guy. And what happened was she gets to the property and she keeps getting these like weird flashes, like something is hurt. Something is hurt, something is in pain. And she goes to the wood line. She walks to the wood line and she sees a Sasquatch. And then she sees blood on its foot. So she's like, it's hurt. This Sasquatch is hurt. So she starts walking into the woods and she tells Ed and everyone else to, what does one mean? What did I miss? One half? What's going on? Oh, conducting a survey. Okay. Aramik, I'll get right to your question in a second. So anyway, Lorraine sees that this Bigfoot is hurt in her psyche. She tells Ed and all the other people that are there to stay out of the woods, that she wants to help this creature that's hurt. It's wounded and hurt, and it's scared. She starts walking into the woods, and it's kind of playing like it's afraid of her because it's hurt. And she eventually starts to communicate with it. All of a sudden, the guys come into the woods, and after she said, don't come in the woods, and they see the Bigfoot, and they start yelling, right? All of a sudden, the Bigfoot takes off running far too fast for anyone to pursue. Lorraine keeps seeing it. It's scared. It's running. And then it stops. Her connection stops. And she yells at everyone. She yelled at Ed. She yelled at everyone. She's like, I told you guys to stay out of the woods. You scared this creature. I had a connection. And it was her one and only connection that she ever had with a cryptid. So she walks deeper into the woods and she finds this cliff and with blood at the edge of the cliff. And the Sasquatch had jumped off the side of the cliff and perished in the water. So yeah, that was Lorraine Warren's only encounter with a Bigfoot. Penny, welcome to the channel tonight. Randall Kennedy, welcome, my friend. Okay, the eclipse and why they canceled schools. Some didn't, some did. It's more or less so they can enjoy and watch the eclipse if you are in that line of sight. I know that I will be in the Adirondacks that day, April 8th, during the eclipse, and right where Tom Mezek disappeared. I know that it's going to disrupt animals and everything else's psyche, so I'm hoping that I can catch something. The LBL shouldn't. It's going to be a not very large eclipse in the LBL, Nicola. You'll have like 38% of it there. There's a map of the eclipse, and I know you know this because I know you're smart as hell. But there's a map of it. April 8th is your birthday, Andy? I will. Animals don't walk through trees. Neither does Bigfoot or Dogman. Happy birthday to you. Yeah, it's awesome because I'm gonna be 100% in the eclipse zone. I am so psyched for it. What's up, Renee? How are you? Yeah, Joe, you are too. Yeah. Yes, I've done 20 bucks. You missed it, Tyler Steven. There was a police officer outside and I did it. Kentucky Boy 22. Dogman and Bigfoot do walk through trees. Have you seen that yourself with your own eyes? Because if you haven't, then it's just your opinion. And if someone's told you they have and you haven't seen it, or do they walk through a portal by the tree? That's the big thing. Do they walk through a portal located by a tree? $20 is $20. Bye. Welcome, Jessica. That got my cat's. I think that got my cat's attention because I think he ran away. Enki, how are you? I was around 11 years old at the time of this experience. For context, my friends and I, E, G, and L, all loved playing in the sagebrush fields by my neighborhood and exploring the cliffs that looked over our valley. I was always the ringleader of the group, bringing them along to chase rabbits and catch snakes or build forts below the cliff. Just dumb kid stuff. One day, E told me that a friend of hers found 2 caves in the sagebrush and gave her directions on how to find them. I thought that'd be perfect for a group adventure, so I rounded up my friends to search for the caves. The first one was at the bottom of a smallish cliff, so we climbed down one by one. It was clearly a hangout spot for teenagers or something, since the ground was littered with empty beer cans and liquor bottles. The rocky walls were covered in graffiti, and there was a old tattered blanket in the furthest corner. However, there was nothing interesting to a bunch of 6th graders, so we moved on. The second cave was way smaller. Not even one person could fit inside. I guess if you really wanted to, you could cram yourself in and sit down. but it would be extremely claustrophobic. All four of us huddled around the mouth of the cave, peering inside. Of course, I was the closest and could see more than others. I noticed a wide tunnel that led deep into the rocks. In the very back of the tunnel, I caught movement. I looked closer, squinting my eyes to adjust to the darkness, trying to figure out what I was actually seeing. There was a medium-sized animal, if you could call it that, facing away from us, crouched over, breathing heavily. It was nearly bald, with a few clumps of hair on its back, and it was thin. You could see the outline of its spine and ribs. Gee, look, I pointed down the tunnel and moved away so he could look. He hesitated before speaking. What is that? Randall Kennedy, thank you so much, my friend. Appreciate the love. He hesitated before speaking. What is that? I was relieved that he saw it as well, but the feeling of unease became stronger the more time we spent near the cave. How would I know? I responded. I moved closer to look again. L and E both stood a safe distance, nervously preparing an escape if something went horribly wrong. I think they also felt the lingering sense of danger, but were smart enough to stay away. My 11-year-old brain thought the best course of action was to pick up a rock and hit the thing to get it to move. And thinking back on it, that was the worst possible thing I could have done. My friends watched as I grabbed a rock off the ground and chucked it hard, hitting the thing right in the back. As soon as the rock struck it, the thing swung its head around and stared at me with these horrific blank eyes that ripped through my soul, nearly making me shit my pants. Adrenaline and utter terror surged through my body, and I did not stick around to see if that thing came out. I nearly fell down the side of the cliff trying to climb down. My friends were equally terrified as me, repeatedly asking me what I saw and what happened. Neither me or G had a solid answer for what that thing was, just a description of those dreadful eyes and its bare skin in the corner. I recently asked G if he remembered seeing the creature, since he watched me hit it with a rock, but he denied it. Maybe it was some seriously messed up groundhog, or maybe my eyes were playing tricks on me, but it was so vivid in my memory. I doubt it was a groundhog if you could see its rib cage. Bat Boy! Ha ha! Oh my God, I loved Bat Boy. Pumbaa, I believe you. I wasn't doubting you at all. I was just saying, like, because, you honestly, people have a lot of theories and people will just randomly, shoot things out. Hey, they do this, they do that. And that's why I was like, well, it's theory unless you saw it truthfully with your own eyes. I'd really like to hear what you got to say, especially about it being in Germany, because honestly, the Soviet Union or Russia, that group of scientists went out there searching for Sasquatch and how it camouflaged itself and how it could cloak. And then the government came in and tried to steal their work. Tommy, how are you? I'm so glad you're here with us, Tommy. Who's watching UFC? I saw someone saying they watched UFC. Saw something on the side of the road in a ditch driving in Palmyra by Clarksville facing 10. Thought it was a deer, but it was not. Palmyra? How close is that? Yep. So me and this guy are, yes, Firehorse, you can ask me a question. Hey, folks, bought the UFC fight tonight. Remember this crap? Oh, crap. Kyle, are you watching UFC tonight? Did Sean fight yet? Who else is fighting? Dustin Poirier is fighting tonight, too, I think. Tommy, don't feel bad. You're here with us. It's over. He won. Fuck yeah, Sean. Sugar Sean. Yeah, boy. With freaky, high, long arms, back, neck. Like a hyena. Shit, Jessica. I'm glad you didn't stop, to be honest with you. Warriors. Dude, that movie is great. Have you guys seen The Warriors? Some of the greatest movie ever. Right south of. How close is Dover? Yeah, Dover is. Yeah, Dover is what, like an hour from Bumpus Mills? Warriors. We got to get to Coney Island, guys. We got to get to Coney Island. Lewis, thank you for joining us tonight. I really, it was nice to see you. It really was. I hope you're doing well. I actually still have the gifts that you sent me like 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Somewhere about that. Yeah, Rogue Volunteer. I think it's like just across the water, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. I gotta watch that fight then. Yeah, if he took a kidney shot and walked it. Have you ever heard of Dogman sightings north of Charlotte? I know about the retired sheriff from Doug, yes. I have. Firehorse, what was the question that you were going to ask? I forgot. I'm so sorry. I'm such an absent-minded fool. What about pizzeria? What about the pizzeria? Left hand in more details. Pizzeria. Not sure. Not sure. I wish I had an answer because I'm not sure. I'm thinking right now for you. Here, buddy. Buddy. Come on, fatty. I'm sick. Tommy, I am glad that you're here with us. A little scared because this eclipse is way biblical. Absolutely, bad pup. Absolutely. Strep and flu. Oh, Janie just had strep. Shit. Tommy, you and your family are in my prayers, dear. I hear Tigger. Tigger's probably going to be coming in a minute. Dogman definitely migrates. No, it definitely is a word that Steve Booth that you shouldn't put in there. Definitely. Dark Waters, James, my best friend. Tracy, thank you for the love, dearie. James, my best friend, has a theory that they migrate. He doesn't say they definitely migrate, though. Just like I say, they relocate and follow the food. Why would a hairy creature that has hair and is used to living in snow migrate? It follows the food. Kyle, I'm glad you found the channel. I'm glad that you found my channel. Well, don't animals migrate? No, not all animals migrate. Nope. Birds migrate, but not all animals and not all birds. And I'm not being rude. They move around. Don't get me wrong. They move, but they follow food. Like me and James have had long talks about this. And like he believes that they go south, and I believe that they just relocate where food is. Jersey Nightcat, how are you? I know you've been here for a while, Kyle. I didn't know you found the channel from Dark Waters though. That's awesome. Did I ever see a picture of Sebastian? Yes. Rockin' steady. I will call you into work tomorrow. What time? I'll be like, hello, this is Rockin' Steady's cousin Earl from Backwood, Georgia, drinking my chicory. He a little sick tonight. Oh, shit. If we keep talking about bears, Joe Rogan's going to show up in the chat and be all over this. God, I really hope not, Tyler. I really hope Joe Rogan does not come in this fucking chat. I will get sick. I'll be like, no, please don't. Joe Rogan's probably the dumbest man I've ever met. Never met him, but I'm not a big fan of him. He's a terrible, terrible interviewer. When he did Cat Stevens interview the other day, it put me off so bad because I was like, dude, I can't listen to this. Like, it was terrible. Terrible. Thank you, Nico. Thank you. I mean, he gets great guests, but check this out. So he had Robert Kennedy Jr. on, right? You'd think it'd be a good interview. No, it wasn't. It was terrible. But Lex Friedman interviewed Robert Kennedy Jr. and it was great. The only reason the Dr. Phil interview was good with Joe Rogan was because Dr. Phil pushed it, just like Cat Williams did. Do I think Bigfoot knows Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? No. It knows Bigfoot Jiu-Jitsu, so it'd still be BJJ. Boy! Hi, boy! Hi! Come here. Come here. Come here. Hey. What? Oh, the mascot's here, guys. Hey, buddy. Hey. Oh, ad. I get to skip the ads again. Holy shit. I just skipped an ad. Sweet. Yes, we get him back. Yeah, he's my big boy. Huh, boy. Ah, fuck you. Ha you fucker. I know. I blocked the ad and lost Tiggy. He's my boy, huh, boy? What doing? Boy? Aw. Aw, come here. Come here. What doing, huh? What? Come here. Say hi to everybody. Say hi. Say hi, everybody. Say I'm here. Aw, you're a good boy. There he is. Good boy. Want to do a black-eyed encounter, kid, buddy? All right, let's do a black-eyed kid encounter. Fuck. Okay. In a quiet town of Ravens Hollow, nestled between thick woods and forgotten memories, the first night in my new house was unsettling. The creaking of the ancient floorboards echoed through the empty halls, and shadows danced on the walls as if they had a life of their own. I dismissed it as the usual adjustment to a new environment, but the unease lingered. As weeks passed, the town revealed a sinister nature. Locals spoke in hushed whispers about a legend of the black-eyed children. They were said to be spectral figures that roamed the outskirts of Ravens Hollow. You fat fuck. Seeking entry into homes of unsuspecting victims. Supposedly, they appeared as ordinary children, but with pitch black eyes that reflected the void of their malevolent souls. One stormy night, as the wind howled outside, I heard a soft knocking at my front door. When I opened it, 2 children stood on my porch. Their faces obscured by the hood of their tattered jackets, water dripping from their matted hair, and their eyes as black as the abyss. "May we come in?" they whispered in unison. A chill ran down my spine, but curiosity compelled me to invite them in. The air grew heavy as they entered my home, and an oppressive silence enveloped the room. I offered them blankets and warmth, but they remained unnervingly silent. As the night wore on, strange occurrences unfolded. Objects moved on their own, and the temperature plummeted despite my efforts of keeping the fireplace going. The children never spoke, yet their presence seemed to command a malevolent force that now gripped my home. Desperation drove me to seek answers from the townsfolk, but their faces grew pale when I mentioned the black-eyed children. Leave the place, they warned, their eyes reflecting some tear that haunted mine. Unable to escape that nightmare, I decided to confront the children. In the dead of night, guided only by my flashlight, I ventured into the woods. The trees whispered secrets. The wind carried haunting melodies as I approached a dilapidated mansion on the outskirts of town. In the mansion's decaying halls, I discovered a room adorned with eerie paintings depicting black-eyed children. The air thickened in an unworldly energy and a haunted voice. Terrified, I stumbled upon a hidden cellar door. As I descended into the abyss, I uncovered the town's darkest secret, a ritual that bound the children here. The town's inhabitants, driven by insatiable fear, had willingly sacrificed souls of children to keep these children the malevolent force contained. I realized that I, too, was destined to become part of that curse. The children's eyes locked onto mine, and I felt tendrils from the darkness envelop me. Ravens Hollow is part of that legend of the black-eyed children. It is sinister, nightmarish silence. Fuck, why did I pick him up? Wait, wasn't the clock supposed to flip back? Oh, it goes up an hour, doesn't it? It goes up an hour. So now it's 3. Black-eyed kitten. Bigfoot experience back in 2000. I know. Why would you invite a black-eyed kid? Because I know, people, Jordy Poole, Jordy Poole, what's going on? What was I going to say? Why would you invite black-eyed kids into your home? But here's the thing. What if you don't know about black-eyed kids, right? Jesus, what are you doing? I'll blow the death whistle, kitty. No, I'm not going to use the death whistle tonight, RH. He's right in here with me tonight. I can't torture him like that. I will when I go up to the Tom Mezek location. I'll use it up there. Is there lore behind this whistle you got? The Aztec. Tom was in New York, right? Tom Mezek, yes, he's in the Adirondacks, is where he disappeared. Brant Lake, New York, or Horicon, which is a half an hour to 35 minutes from my house. So the lore of the Aztec death whistle is you blow into it and it makes this horrific screeching, vile noise. And what the Aztecs did was, let's say when an invading army came to fight, they would be in the woods and hundreds of these Aztecs would blow this whistle and it would be like, it screech, this just horrendous noise. And that's what the invading army would hear. And so that awe, that shock, like what was that? They'd get freaked out. Yeah, so it's crazy. The Aztec death whistle. Exactly, Nino. Tigger. Come here, buddy. It was just this. The shofar has a different noise to it, and I really can't do it in the house because I don't want to freak out my cat. Come here, buddy, because he's already freaked out enough. All right. This is a Dogman encounter right here. My family and I have always moved houses a lot, to the point where it can be hard for me sometimes to remember what age I was during the time I lived at any given place. But I'm guessing that I was 12 at the time of this. I'm turning 21 soon. In present, I still remember this incident with perfect clarity, almost as if it happened yesterday. Hang on. Okay. Almost as if it happened yesterday. I live in South Africa, and at the time, I was staying at a seaside place, a small rural town that tourists enjoy. My family had moved into this very large apartment building, which was so big that it stuck out like a sore thumb when you viewed the whole town from the distance. It was like a huge white fortress, and mostly deserted. There were only like 2 or 3 other families, despite the fact that the building was meant to house many people, so it was basically empty. It always echoed. And to be honest, the place looked like a level of the back rooms. and it sort of had this unreal feeling about it. It was a new building and relatively modern, which I didn't like. I prefer rustic homes because how I spent most of my childhood. The other people living there was a guy hiding from the police with his 5 or so daughters. Yeah, I'm not making that up. And a woman who worked in the lobby and her son. There was also homeless people who would break into the parking garage in a very large, empty carpeted room downstairs to sleep. My bedroom was extremely dark all the time, which was fun at first, but did lead to me feeling depressed without natural light. My room had a huge window, but the catch was the window looked out onto the halls and stairs of the building, which was indoor space, so no light for me. The fact that my window faced indoors will be important later. One night, as I lie in bed trying to fall asleep, everything seemed normal, and I was not particularly concerned about anything, besides perhaps my own problems, as I was an extremely troubled kid. But out of nowhere, everything became very not normal. As I was lying there, I heard the loudest, most terrible sound I'd ever heard. It was extremely loud, louder than anything you can imagine, with insane force, size, and strength behind it, enough to make you feel like your insides were shaking. This sound was human-like and yet so abnormal and unlike anything I had ever heard before. It sounded nearly impossible for a human to make. It was like the sound of someone dying in agony, and it carried with a sense of extreme sadness. The sound left me paralyzed in my bed. I couldn't move a muscle. I was scared stiff, and I mean that literally. To make matters even worse, the sound was extremely close to me, as if whatever had made that sound was right outside of my window. I did not get up to look. Sometimes I wish I did, sometimes I'm glad I didn't. But I knew that whatever this thing was, it was very big and not human, and in the building. I could barely even get my voice out, so I tried to call my mom. My dad was away on business as usual, but I was desperate for protection. Thankfully for me, she was in the doorway almost immediately and grabbed me, took me to the master bedroom, which was comforting. We both heard it. My brother, whose room was directly adjacent to mine and also facing out into the stairs and hall, didn't wake up. He reported later that he had not heard anything at all. How's that possible? I have no idea. Of course, we made a terrible decision later that night. It was around early morning hours before the sun had come up. My mom, brother, and I put on our shoes to take the dogs outside to go for a walk. We lived on the highest floor, maybe third or fourth, and had to exit the safety of our home to walk right to wherever made that sound would be. To let the dogs we walked around the building, which was surrounded by thick brush, and the beach and ocean on one side. Walking around down there in total blackness, something just felt wrong. I felt scared, as did my mom and brother. We felt like we were being watched. I honestly didn't know if we'd make it back inside in one piece. I felt such deep tension in the air, a cold dread, a very negative vibe. At one point during the short walk, a large flock of birds were spooked from the brush and jutted out into the big rush, giving us a heart attack. I wonder what spooked them. Do I want to know? I hope it was just us. I kept feeling like something was watching us from the brush, and I could hear something. Thank God, when we got inside again safe and sound, nothing else happened that night. Things that I thought it might have been were perhaps a man drugged up on some substances, a ghost. One time, my family and I were looking to move to a different unit in the same building, and we found an enormous red stain on the carpet in one of the bedrooms, which we all thought was blood. So maybe there was a death here and we were not aware of it. But for some reason, the word werewolf hung in my mind, and my mom agreed, saying it sounded like what a werewolf would sound like. My father dismissed my mother and I, saying that the sound was Grommet howling, their dog. But let me explain that he's small dog at the time, a little bundle of fluff, and was a small breed. Even with the echo of the bathroom where he was sleeping, there was no chance that he could have created such a sound in raw power. My brother believed what my mother and I heard, even though he had not heard it himself. Disturbingly, he told us that he had been having dreams of werewolves lately. That building had always a horrible aura about it, as if something terrible had happened there. But I know nothing of the building's history or the land it was built on. We later moved out. We visited the area a few times. When we passed that building, I could never help but stare at it, feeling completely unsettled and unsafe. I have no idea what my mom and I really heard that night. But all I do know is sometimes frightening things can happen, even in the most unlikely places. So if I were you, I wouldn't believe I am safe from strange happenings just because I don't live in the typical hot spot like the Appalachian Mountains of America or such. Please, everyone, be careful out there because no matter where you are, you never know what is out there with you. Very good. Very good one. Swing forward, fall back. Egypt statue Anubis. And it's a jackal's head. It's not a dog, it's a jackal. It's a jackal. Dean Ferguson brings up the Ozark Howler. Jeff, paramedic guest, did you see the balls of that thing? They must be going like rabbits. I didn't see the balls. He did, but they were huge. He said, imagine slapping those monkeys around. Bah! So the Ozark Howler, I heard this very interesting theory on the Ozark Howler. Jeff, can you share the sighting near Roanoke River in North Carolina? Maybe in a minute. Maybe in a minute, Nico. So the Ozark Howler, check this out. The theory is that red wolves were living in the Ozarks at the time, and that as the population declined, these wolves would howl to each other. And moonshiners started to create a story about this creature called the Ozark Howler to keep people out of the woods. Forrest Gallant, who is he's a scientist. I forget the exact, and maybe a zoologist or whatever, but he doesn't believe in cryptids, and that is his theory on what the Ozark Howler is. But how does that explain all of the stories that people have seen of this Ozark Howler, this white kind of Bigfoot-like creature that doesn't look like a red wolf? Years afterwards, too. Black goo. No, RH. Not on my end. Protecting their stills. You know, I don't know, but people saw this howler after, like you said, 59th. Wildlife biologist, yes. His mother and father, or his mother and grandfather, were also wildlife biologists. He grew up in like South Africa, but he's got an amazing theory on the Chupacabra. So Chupacabra's maw opens this way. It's huge. It's this huge maw. And his theory, check this out. His theory is that, so there's two versions of the Chupacabra. There's the Central and South American, Puerto Rican Chupacabra that is a reptile-like creature, and then the North American one that is canine, right? So he's talking about the canine Chupacabra when he says this. So in 1933 or 1903, I think 33, a breeding pair of thylacine were on a ship and with other animals heading to the Bronx Zoo. The ship had crashed off the coast of North Carolina. And as it did, these two breeding pair of thylacines were never seen again. Did they perish in the ocean? No one knows. But what he thinks is these thylacines maybe swam ashore, and because not being in Tasmania anymore and being in North America, where the temperature and geography is different, that through geographic evolution, which means your body changes to accompany, or whatever, like a wild hog. You can have a pig, you release it, it turns into a wild hog within 4 months. So he thinks these Chupacabra eventually started breeding and is now what people call, or these thylacines eventually started breeding, and he thinks that's what the Chupacabra is. Very interesting. Caden, you're back. Very interesting theory. Exactly, 59th. Yes, they are still alive. As a bogan, I agree. They are still alive as a bogan. I love that word. Wilburn Bishop, how are you? I'm doing well, Wilburn. Thoughts about 2024 being not sure. Neither, World Tap. Do you have any thoughts? Or Tap? I think we've been interacting with ETs all along. We've been interacting with ETs all along, 100%. I mean, Simon, it does make sense if you think about it, because the shops charge way too much. Absolutely, Wilburn. The thylacine's mouth just mawed open, and so does the Chupacabra. Very interesting. Yes, Caden is wearing a red bra. It's actually very nice. There will be no negative comments about it either. Nighty. Thank you, Caden. Now I'm buffering. Gravity, then walk the fuck back over. Spirit level. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. I would not doubt it. You're welcome, Caden. I got your back always. Actually, me and Rockin' Steady were talking about Caden last weekend and how just unique and wonderful it is to have Caden in the live stream. I fucking love Caden. Awesome, Nico. Awesome. You know, we are people. People are people, right? Who cares? I don't care. I care about learning, and if I can learn from people, that's all I care. I got you, Caden. You guys want to see a funny tattoo? So check this out. So right here is my daughter's name, right? Abigail and Isabel. So when I had that tattoo put on, I got my wife, I had my ex-wife put her name, I had her in her signature, and I put it on this arm, right? So when I went and got this tattoo, when I got this cover up, there we go. When I got that cover up, I got that one. I was sitting there and I'm like, listen, we have got to get rid of my ex-wife's name on my bicep. And he's like, how do you want to get rid of it? How do you want to get rid of it? And I'm like, okay, when someone messes up, what do they do? And he's like, I don't know. What do they do? I go, let's put a line through it. How dumb is that? This, in 2 weeks, is going to be right here. Or right here. Probably right here. But this is going to be my new tattoo. But yeah, just a line. You're going, bitch. No, it doesn't have a fake snout. No pig snouts, Kyle. Nino, you sexy MFer. Have a good night. Thank you for joining us. Thanks, Jason Allen. Well, when I was young, I was 15 years old, and I was amateurly sponsored by a skateboard company called Shut out of New York City. And me and my friends thought we were the shit. And my dad built me, I had a half pipe in my backyard. So it was 6 foot on one side and 7 foot on the other. The 6 foot had a three foot tombstone extension on it. My buddy bought a tattoo gun. We were 16 years old. What do you think we did? We gave ourselves a bunch of dumb fucking ink, and I've got all these dumb tattoos that I got to get covered up now. Oh, spirit level. Yeah, she did this one. No, I'm not going to pull my pants down. But I got a dead smiley face on my leg that she did. I volunteered for it. Nino, oh, you're not leaving? Okay, I thought you said goodnight. I'm glad that you're staying, you sexy MFer. Dean Ferguson, the tramp stamp will stay. Unless I can put like property of Dean underneath it. How about that? Large cola. if I didn't have tattoos, I would be happy. I would be so happy. I will be 37 in September, but I still don't have any. Don't get any, Kyle. Because there's days that I wish I never had tattoos. Could it be a crawler being mistaken for Chupacabra because of it needing blood? That's a theory of it needing blood, Mike, or Michael. The reptilian one is said to drink blood. The North American one doesn't like latch on to goats and such. What's up, Luxury Slim? How are you? Yeah. If you get one, you get more. That's exactly it. They are addictive, Gigi. That's why I said don't get them. I wish I didn't have any, except I got this. I got my back done. I got one on my butthole. No, I'm just kidding. My eldest son divorced my tattoo artist. Oh no, Kakalina. Now you can't go back because you can't trust him. You'll be like, I want this, and he puts some crazy shit on there. Brian Reese, Dark Waters was here just an hour and a half ago. Caden, stay exactly how you are. You don't need a tattoo. You wouldn't be Caden Zero if you had a tattoo, okay? Wilburn, that's a good one, isn't it? What's up, Corey Cole? How are you? Put a red void stamp. No shit. That's a good idea, Ohio Hurricane. Or guy Hurricane. Did you hear me stutter like Joe Biden? I'm like blip, 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 blip. The one on my back. So I'll tell you, the one on my back I got. Hey Teresa, how are you? Crawlers can go to hell. So when I was like 16 years old, me and my friends, we got some micro dots of mescaline, and we popped them, and we were running through the woods. I told you guys the story about this already. But the creature that me and my friend both saw, which could have been a hallucination or it could have been real, I got tattooed on my back. No, I don't have a tramp stamp, Dean. Could you guys see it? I survived the sharing stone. Oh my God, I should get that. Eyeliner? Oh God. Team Taurus. No, it's not a Furby. It's actually a claw coming out of one side and like its teeth. My night is going well, Ethan. My night is going well. Gigi is the winged one. She flies through the night. Shine Man 21. Crawlers are not geographically isolated. They are all over. The sharing stone. Well, you know, that's what I'll get. I'll get like a rock in a chubby guy bent over the rock like this with Bigfoot behind him. Josh, I'm glad you're here with us, my friend. Thank you for joining us. Shines Man 21, because there's very little on them. There's very, very little on the crawler. Just like there's very little on Nightmare Hall and such. Yeah. So like Bigfoot will have a stalk of celery hanging out of his mouth and a tub of Vaseline on his in his hand. And then he'll have a big glob of mayonnaise running all over the guy's back. This incident took place 13 years ago. I had just moved to a new city with my wife. We were small town newlyweds in the Midwest. We moved cross country to one of the biggest cities in the Southwest so I could attend grad school. Being naive and new to city living, I habitually answered the door without a second thought. Never again after this. First thing that should have tipped me off to this particular situation was the fact that someone was knocking at 6 a.m. Second thing that should have dawned on me is the kid had to reach over a rather tall patio gate to unlatch and open it. The knock at the door was startling. My wife and I were getting ready for work, pretty normal routine. The moment I opened the door, I was overtaken by an unexpected sense of fear. To this day, I can still picture this person. Teenager, average height, average build, knee-length black leather coat, short black hair, and sunglasses. Sunglasses at 6 a.m. struck me as odd. Even more odd was he was eating an apple. He was, MS, thank you, dear. Love you. Even more odd, he was eating an apple. He was very polite and asked if he could come in and warm up. I said no and closed the door and slid the security chain. A moment later, another knock. I opened the now chained door, and before I could speak, he asked again if he could come in and warm up. No, I replied and attempted to close the door. Before the door could shut, he put his hand out, stopping the door on its hinges. He looked directly into my eyes, still wearing sunglasses, and said, "Can I at least get some ketchup for my apple?" "Fuck that," I replied, albeit still a little confused. "Get the hell out of here. My wife's calling the cops." He takes a moment to let the information sink in, lowers his glasses, revealing eyes as black as obsidian, and says, "No, you won't be calling anybody." At the moment, I forced the door closed and locked it and called out to my wife. She's scared shitless, hiding in the bedroom. All jacked up on adrenaline, I ripped the curtains back to look out the window. He's gone. Absolutely no trace of him. I go out onto the patio and check the gate. It's still latched from inside. That's messed up, I think to myself, as I turn to enter the house and notice a half-eating apple on the ground. Starting to change into a Dogman. They're two different entities, Dean, I believe. Junior, Michael, have a good night. Thank you for joining us, my friend. Junior, that lives in New Mexico, had seen a group of crawlers ripping apart a Dogman, so I wouldn't venture on saying a crawler could transform into a Dogman. No. Yeah, I don't know what that was. Shinesman 21. That could have been a crawler or a meth head, to be honest with you. What's up, Randy 1.5? How are you? That's crazy. I'm doing well, Randy. I'm doing well. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm a Virgo too, Gravity Cheeseburger. What do you think? Large Cola. Just an honest question, but being kind of funny. What do you think the Bigfoot did with your shoe? Do you think it gave one to its kid? Wouldn't that be crazy? You go out there one day and you see this like miniature Bigfoot walking around with one shoe. High strange isn't happening here somehow. Water supply, sure. Water supply had dried and refilled with ocean water, fracking, crawlers, craziest stuff. Josh, where are you talking about? Thunderbolt and lightning, very, very frightening me. Mamma mia. Kim, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why people are getting frozen. It's not on my end, though. I know that. The Big Island. Do you know, Josh? This is interesting. Is nobody talked about Dogman in Hawaii? And for the longest time, I never ever thought that Hawaii had even a Dogman legend until just recently. I found out about there was a Dogman, a group of dog people that lived in Hawaii. I got it saved here. Hang on, I'll quickly go through it. Hang on a second. Come here. Yeah, so I got it saved. Dog people Hawaii. So I'm gonna murder this like I did in the live stream, or not the live stream, but the video that I did. Belle, come here, I said. My daughter wants to play with the dowsing rod. Say hi. You gotta say hi.
Hi. All right, I love you.
Love you too.
These are both?
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, give me the tip though. I don't want you to lose the tip.
I love it. You want me to close your door?
No, leave it open. I want them back in a little bit.
I'm not back in a second.
Okay. So, there's a Dogman group, and it's the Kaupe, Kaupe, the Olohi Dogman of Nua. 1 month, each month, it is said that an eerie white mist appears along the highest peak of the Kowula Mountains. Those who have been born bear witness to this manifestation. I'm not even going to attempt to murder the native Hawaiian, but they're spiritual dogmen. And yeah, so if anyone's interested, it's Kaupe. I did do an upload on it. Very interesting stuff. Shut up, don't talk to me. Yes, Belle came in and said hi because she's a beast. Credo House. Let me shut my door real quick. Okay, really quick. So, Chaos Theory Productions. What's going on, big guy? So, my experience happened in 94. I was with a, thank you, Chaos. So, hey, Bobby Schultz, how are you? So it's just Antarctica that has never had any Dogman. Could be, Bobby, could be. All right, so really quick, my experience happened in 1994. And someone asked me to they wanted to hear it, so I'm just going to share it really quick. So I was with a group of my friends. I live in the Adirondacks of New York. We were in the foothills of the Adirondacks. I was with my girlfriend at the time, my best friend and his girlfriend, and our friend who was older than us, because we were all 17 and couldn't drive. So we park in this cul-de-sac where there's these houses getting built. There's like 6 houses getting built. It's a brand new road, a U-shaped cul-de-sac. And we are parked. We're listening to Biohazard, just rocking out. Weren't smoking weed, weren't drinking. We were smoking ciggies. I was hoping I was going to get laid. And so all of a sudden, we hear this just shrieking, growling noise. In the middle of, so like imagine a U with 3 houses on one side, a light and 3 houses. And there's this like orange 80s, 90s street lamp. So the girls immediately scream, vampires, and jump in the car. We can see these eye shines at different heights, ranging from 3 to 4 feet to 7 feet. I'm standing in the front of the car on the passenger side, like staring into the woods, like, what the hell is going on? It was strange because I never saw anything like that. Gabe, the kid that was driving us around, he started the car up and said, get in the car. My friend Martin, who's Czechoslovakian, Jiff, get in the fucking car, beach. So I get in the car. The girls are in the back seat. Martin's in the middle. I'm in the, because it was a bench seat in a Caprice Classic. So I'm riding shotgun. Martin's bitch. Gabe's driving. The girls are in the back, and we pull out. Now, mind you, these things were running through the woods. Now, the woods were like full of shit and, just garbage, wood and debris from building the road. Virtually impossible to run through, but these things were. We get to the stop sign to go north, deeper into the Adirondacks where I live. And there's a stop sign, and this 7-foot tall whatever is standing there. And I'm like, what the hell? So all of a sudden I look and I'm like, what the hell is that? I see a muzzle, I see these ears, but it was the strangest looking thing. It was not of this world. That's immediately what I thought. We peel out and drive away. Now, the next day we go back, me and Martin, because it's daytime and we can drive. Because in New York State, you can't drive after 8 or 9 if you're 18, only until you're 18. So we go back and we're looking around. We're looking for prints and shit. The foreman of the place says, "What the hell are you doing here? Get out of here, da 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 da." Because people had been stealing like wood and shit from these houses. And Martin and I both are like, we're looking for our dog. We're looking for his dog, you know? And he's like, oh, that's crazy. He goes, because last night when we were cleaning up and getting ready to head out, we heard a bunch of dogs sounding like they were fighting in the woods. The same place where we saw these creatures. We all, like, me and my girlfriend dated for a couple years after, Martin and his girlfriend, but the driver, Gabe, ditched us, never talked to us after. I run into him 20-something years later, and I said, dude, do you remember that night? And he said, yeah. And I was like, why did you blow us off? Why did you ditch us? And he said, I didn't want to hang out with you guys because that night fucked me up. And he had turned into a recluse for a while. I was looking and hanging out with the girls and stuff right before that scream. He was playing with the radio and caught something in his periphery and looked, and he saw 2 of these creatures run across the road to get behind us. And that's when he started the car. It wasn't when the scream happened. So I didn't even know that part of the story for 20-something years. And that's why he blew us off. So that's my experience for the person that asked. Yes, Sandhoff, always. I was always into the paranormal. Like Leonard Nimoy and Remember Time Life had those books when it just said, read the book, read the book. My mom had those books and I was always, but I didn't know what Dogman was until years later. I don't know why they said vampire. I have no idea. Mysteries of the Unknown. That's what it was. Read the book. $20 is $20, baby. This one's dedicated to Jane. Jane and her birthday. Happy birthday, Jane. Got to take my snooze out or whatever the fuck they're called. My Zyn. $20. It's $20. Happy birthday, Janie. Oh, little B-Day shofar, baby. I didn't want to blow through the shofar with the old zin in and have a zin get stuck in my shofar. I'd be pissed. Oh, chaos. It's not a Viking horn. It's a Jewish shofar from the walls of Jericho. Beautifully made. I'm a one-horned bull. One-horned bull, fellas and ladies. Cynocephaly is just an old name for Dogman, Josh. Pretty much just an old name for Dogman. You know, I don't know if the shofar calls in Dogman or Bigfoot, but I know the $20 is $20 definitely calls them in. Because they got their Dogman and Bigfoot wallet opening right up. Shinesman 21. There's no laughing about that because it's biblical. The shofar was blown at the battle in Jericho. Tyler Steven, have a good night, my friend. Bigfoot got it. No, I was thinking since Bigfoot likes to hang out at the sharing stone, he probably uses his butthole like a prison wallet. So it's the Bigfoot wallet. Tyler, have a good night. Thank you for joining us. Oh, okay. Well, see, I'll give you the reason why Shinesman, because you're kind of new to the channel, so you probably hadn't heard it. And I was laughing at Nico's prison wallet thing, laughing about that. So Tim Coonbo Baker, if there is an expert in this field, it would be Tim Baker. He worked for NASA. He grew up in Booger Bottom in Alabama. He first started using the shofar. A gentleman that he knows and I know that lives in South Carolina introduced it to him. And he, because thinking of the Nephilim and stuff like that, he thought, well, hey, maybe the shofar, being such a traditional and powerful horn back in the day, maybe that would draw in Bigfoot. Well, it did for him multiple times. And that's the reason why I think that's why I have one, because Mr. Shackleneck bought me one. But Sharon Stone. But it's that's where the idea of it coming and calling in these creatures comes from. I'm doing well, 1031. So the Sharon Stone thing, gifting rock, sharing stone. All right, so we're 3 hours in. I'm going to end this in a minute, but I'm going to share one more encounter before we end the live stream. It's been a great live stream. It's 4 a.m. I got to get some sleep. Jane, the first encounter was dedicated to you for your birthday. The last encounter is dedicated to you for your birthday. I love you, Jane. Happy birthday. It was a cold October evening, not too far off from Halloween. I remember sitting in my room playing the original Suikoden. The evening was slowly creeping by, so I decided to go to the corner store. It was only 3 blocks away, so it shouldn't have been much trouble, right? During my walk, I see the normal, the occasional person putting up Halloween decorations, kids playing in their yard, but this experience is about something far more sinister. I remember seeing 2 teens, about 14 years old, knocking on the door, asking to use the phone, which of course I thought was weird because most teens nowadays have phones. As I kept walking, they stopped and stared at me for a short moment. I felt the blood in my veins run cold. I felt so creeped out, I hurried to the next block. The next block seemed fine until I looked behind me and saw the 2 teens following me. I took off, sprinting to the store at this point. I saw the sign for the store and relief washed over me. I opened the door and told the cashier about what happened on the way there. He looked at me slightly creeped out and told me a story about this happening to him in his hometown and how they found him the day he left and asked for him for help in an emotionless voice. And he told me never to agree to help them. He told me another story, but at that point I was no longer paying attention because these teenagers were now standing at the door asking to be let in. The cashier freaked out and locked the door. The teens never seemed to waver or leave. They wouldn't step away from the door. It had been an hour. The cashier and I were ready to fight our way out, but instead, he took me out the back. One of the teens came around the back just as the door shut behind us. "Can you help me?" is all he could say. He was closing in on us, and his eyes, they were black as a starless night. They were peering right into my soul. I couldn't help but gaze into his eyes. The terror, I can't remember too much of what happened next, but I do recall the sounds of struggle. When I came to, the cashier was struggling with both teens. He was calling out for me to help. I ran towards him, grabbed him by his collar, and pulled him between the 2, knocking them over in the process. I didn't look back until I was near my home. The cashier was gone, but the teens were still following me. I ran into my house and closed the blinds and turned some music on. I got lucky that day, but I am not sure how long I can keep out of their grasp. They're trying to find. I tried to find and thank the cashier for saving my life that day, but he didn't show up for work after that. I asked his boss, and he told me he called over the phone and quit, said he was moving. To this day, I sometimes feel fear of those eyes watching me as I drive to work. I sometimes will look out my window, and I swear I see them watching my house from a couple of blocks away, waiting for their next chance. Kim Duckworth, thank you for joining us and welcome to the live. Spirit level, your favorite bogan says goodbye. All right, guys. Great live stream. 3-hour live stream. I had a blast tonight. Chaos Theory Productions, thanks for joining in with us. I want to say an extra special thank you to all the new people who came and joined us tonight. Thank you guys. Really awesome to have you guys, all come and support the live stream. Caden, much love, my friend. Much love. Kakalina, Sandhoff, Web Surfer, everybody that Tyler, Gigi, RH. Thank you, me77. Nino, you at sexy MFer, Rogue. Tommy. I love you all, and thank you. My Saturday night has been fulfilled. I feel fulfilled. Stuffed like an Oreo. Shared at the sharing stone. Gifted like the gifting rock. Bigfoot. Guys, I love you all. Janie, happy birthday. And thank you all for hanging out with me tonight. Good night, guys.